Well, today the matter between some state executive of ADC against the Interim Caretaker Committee of ADC came up this morning for judgment. Indeed, judgment was given in favor of the state executives of ADC, preserving their tenure. The court held, affirmatively that their tenure has not come to an end, and their tenure will continue in line with the constitution of the party and also the mediation report, final mediation report of the parties, ADR. So as it stands, all the state chairman, all the state executive, both the state working committee and state executive committee of ADC, their tenure is intact and it will expire when a valid national convention of the party has been conducted. The so-called Congress they conducted last month, has been nullified, and the convention has been nullified by the court because they did it in violation of the constitution of the party, and that's why the court said that convention cannot hold. So what it means is that the tenure of the state executive committee, the tenure of the state working committee of the party is still intact. So whatever they did, the charade they did last month, court just described it as kangaroo, So it's an effort in futility, and so they are not for Bala and they are not for David Mark. They are for the interest of the party.
Temetope, the chairman of the chairmen. I'm representing of all the chairmen of ADC, both in Nigeria and diaspora. The way they instituted the Congress is not in order. There is a constitution of ADC, and that constitution, they did not follow the constitution before they start the Congress. And we tried to advise them to stop it. Personally, I went to David Mark, talked to him, I talked to the other leaders. This is not how we're supposed to do it. But they continue, they go ahead. Even in their kangaroo, according to the way court pronounce it, of their confession, have been null and void. So I told them that now they ask us to go back. We, chairmen, we are the one that have right to do Congress. The Congresses from the state is duty of chairmen. So after that chairman, then we are the one now to do it now, according to the court pronouncement this morning.
Did you hear what he said? He said he personally went to David Mark and he advised David Mark that what they are doing violates the constitution of the party, which is the African Democratic Congress. But David Mark ignored. What does it cost David Mark to simply follow the constitution of the ADC? What does it cost him? You cannot be breaching the constitution of a party and then turn around and claim that the leadership of a political party is the internal affairs. The constitution is part of the requirement for registering a political party. Why? What is the function of that constitution of the party? Is it not to guide the affairs of the party? Is it not to guide the leadership of the party so that they don't misbehave? Why will David Mark now jettison the constitution of the party? Then when people now go to court, you now start screaming that, the court does not have jurisdiction. When in actual fact, section 83, subsection 7 makes it clear that when a crime is involved, when you breach the constitution of your party, when you forge the signature of somebody, once a crime is involved, automatically, even if it is just one person that is aggrieved, the person has the locus to go to court, and the courts have jurisdiction. So, instead of abusing this man, and calling him names. Why not call on David Mark to do the right thing, which is easier? They are talking about ADR now, alternate dispute resolution. Why can't David Mark engage ADR? Why can't Atiku engage ADR? I will tell you why, and you can choose to accept it or not. You may choose to tell me, oh, I've been bought by Tinubu. I have not been. In fact, I will say it here. Tinubu is not only the worst president in Nigeria in the past 50 years. Tinubu is the worst president in Nigeria's history. Tinubu could have used his scheming ability, his ability to manipulate systems to better the lives of Nigerians. But he's not doing that. If anything, he's using what he knows how to do to punish Nigerians. And I cannot support that. So yes, I believe Tinubu should be voted out. And I call on Nigerians to vote him out in 2027. But within our own space, within the opposition space, we cannot be criticizing Tinubu when we now have a David Mark doing something that is similar, if not worse, to what Tinubu is doing. I've said it before, I will continue to say it. We will criticize Tinubu, but if any opposition member does not do right by Nigerians, we will criticize them too. I was telling you why a David Mark will not follow due process, will not respect the rule of law, will not obey the constitution of the ADC. A David Mark, backed by an Atiku, they know that if they follow the rule and allow a level playing field within the ADC, there is no way an Atiku will get ticket. They know. So those of you who are defending David Mark, thinking you are defending ADC, I pity you. Obviously, you guys don't know what you're doing. Defending ADC and defending David Mark, they are two separate things. If David Mark loved democracy, if he respected the rule of law and respected the constitution of the ADC, the simple thing to do would be to respect that constitution. And in the case of violating that constitution like he has done, what is supposed to be the logical next step should have been ADR. But instead of engaging the ADR, they are trying to blackmail Nigerians using emotional blackmail, right? Blackmail the APC and Tinubu and they think it will work. Tinubu is not Jonathan. Anybody making that mistake as a politician, it's not just naive, it's dumb. I don't want to use the word stupid. Tinubu is not Jonathan. You cannot fight Tinubu with lies. Tinubu is not somebody that will be moved by such blackmail when he knows that it is built on lies. The only way to fight Tinubu and win is truth. It is like light and darkness. The only way you fight darkness is by shining your light. You cannot fight darkness with darkness. Will it work? But if you have the smallest light, you shine it in darkness, it goes a long way. Those of you defending David Mark in the ADC, supporters of Peter Obi, I don't know what to call you, but know that you are not doing justice to democracy. You are supporting impunity, because the easy thing to do is to call on David Mark to do the right thing. Since you have breached the constitution of the ADC, engage alternate dispute resolution, ADR. Let's call the people, agree to your terms, let them withdraw their cases from court. You have not engaged them. You go on social media, you call You somehow you have managed to convince even obedience to now support you, to defend your impunity. What you are doing, David Mark, is impunity. In the first place, if you loved democracy and you had respect for the youths of this country, you would not even put yourself forward as the party chairman. You wouldn't. Even if an Atiku pressed on you to be chairman, you would tell Atiku, let us give space to the younger ones. Or you would have told Atiku, Ralph Wonsu, since he buys into our vision, let us give him the support he needs. Let us ensure a level playing field. Is that what David Mark did? No. David Mark, that has been state administrator, military administrator, 1983. It's still the same. That 43 years ago, 43 years after, he's still struggling to be party chairman. And then they'll come back and say, the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. And it is shameful that the same youths are now defending his impunity. If he even got into that position by the right means, I would support and clap for him. But bending the rules, breaking the rules, disregarding the constitution of a party just to be chairman, and for what? So you can bend the structure of the party to the will of Atiku? No. Then you will now come, when people go to court, they get judgment against you, you now start blackmailing them. Propaganda. Oh, they have been bought by the APC. It's not everybody that is being bought by the APC. It is your sin that is finding you out. You are the Akan in the midst of the children of Israel. The Akan in the midst of ADC that is bringing weakness upon the ADC. You can repent today, David Mark. You can repent. And then engage alternate dispute resolution so that the party will not die. Don't bring the party down with you. It doesn't have to be you. Don't say, oh, if it's not me, then let's destroy it. Don't be like that woman in the Bible who stole the son and did not care that the child was killed. In fact, she was insisting that, let them cut the child in two. Don't insist that they cut ADC in two just because you don't have your way. You breached the constitution of the ADC. You breached it, David Mark. You breached it. Except you are working for Tinubu and the APC. You would engage ADR. You will retract your step. Stop sending your minions and gullible obedience to come and be defending your impunity. Stop it. And I know your obedience don't know why a David Mark is doing what he's doing. You are defending him thinking you are defending democracy. Anybody that is defending David Mark is defending impunity. Is defending, it is, in fact, if you are defending David Mark, you are worse than those defending Tinubu. You are worse. Because the reason a David Mark is doing what he is doing is because he knows. Him and Atiku, they know. Together with Dino Melaye, all those people, Aregbesola, they know that if ADC followed the constitution, letter by letter, precept by precept, they know that if there was a level playing field, Peter Obi will get ticket. If ADC respected the rule of law and obeyed the constitution of the ADC and are ready to play fair, no exchange of money, right? In primaries, no inducement, everything level playing field, who will vote for Atiku? Maybe Dino Melaye and Aregbesola, maybe those ones will vote for him. But you see, the majority of the youth, even youth from the north, level playing field, no money politics. Peter Obi will get ticket. But they don't want Peter Obi to get ticket of ADC. They want to give it to Atiku. That's why they are bending the rules. And I'm surprised that Peter Obi supporters are defending them. Now look at what has happened in the court case now. The party chairman, look at it. You came and took over a party. And then you called for congresses and convention. And you did not give space for the chairman to follow the constitutional process. Their tenures have not expired. Think about it. If you came into a party, they have state working committees, local government working committee, ward working committee, ward executive, state executive, local government executive. Their tenures were still on. If the national working committee resigned, did the state working committees across all the 36 states and the FCT, did they also resign? The ward excos, did they also resign? Why are we doing this to ourselves? If they have a tenure that has not ended, why not let them finish their tenure? Why not? You issued a decree, sacked all of them, and told them compulsorily you will go and organize World Congress and bring them. They should reapply. They should reapply how? Somebody's tenure has not finished. You cut it midway, and you're telling them if they're interested, they should reapply. Is this the democracy that you guys want to bring to replace that of Tinubu? How obedient are putting up with this is what I don't get. I hope you guys don't realize it too late that Atiku and co are playing you. I hear some of you obedient that I respect very much say that, oh, even if Atiku paid the 1.7 billion that's been alleged to buy the ADC, that what is the guarantee that he will benefit him with ticket? Nothing can be more naive than that. Oh. Nothing can be more naive. I pray that we don't realize it too late. Too late. Too late. And you're using the example of Wike. Wike sponsored the party. Wike sponsored the party. Yes, Wike sponsored the party. Wike did not sponsor the party in all the states. Wike did not sponsor everybody in all of the party. Wike sponsored key people that he wanted to use to have his way in the PDP. While he was doing all of that, Atiku was also sponsoring his own people from wherever he was in Dubai. So when it came to time for primaries, it was battle of elephants. At the end of the day, he lost, howbeit narrowly. You cannot compare that to the ADC. You cannot. What Atiku and David Mark are trying to do, they are not trying to play fair, and they are making it clear. You are saying, oh, Peter Obi will get ticket. Only on two conditions. If Atiku willingly relinquishes the ticket and say, okay, fine, let's do consensus and give it to Peter Obi, in which case you will still have an Amechi to contend with, right? That's the only way, consensus. And Atiku and Amechi will have to yield their interest for that to happen. That's one. Two, free and fair primaries. Those are the two conditions. From the handwriting on the wall, as an obedient that is observing the things that are going on, do you think these two conditions can be met? Do you think that Atiku is ready to relinquish it? He has told you, let us go to the field, to the battlefield. Let us slug it out. Whoever wins, I will step down from the person. Think. He's not telling you that he will step down, no. He's telling you that after you have done primaries, whoever wins, then he will step down for the person. Is that how they step down? He's simply telling you, I'm not stepping down. This is my last shot. I will give it all I got. That's what Atiku is telling you. Which means that consensus is a no-no in the ADC. Now, what makes you think that an Atiku that breached the constitution of the ADC, the 2 years requirement to be chairman, he breached it? Right? An Atiku that did that to force a David Mark on ADC, and a David Mark that now goes ahead to breach the constitution of the ADC to fire state working committees before their tenure expiration, you think that those people are going to give you a level playing field? There's not going to be transactional politics. If you think that is going to happen, then goats will stop eating grasses in the world. Leopard can never change their skin. Anybody defending an article, defending David Mark, you are defending impunity. You are defending something that is far worse than Tinubu. Please note it. And having said that, I'm going to end with this. Peter Obi, this court judgment instituted or given in favor of the state chairman is a sign of what awaits you or what awaits the ADC at the Supreme Court. One of two things. If the Supreme Court does not wait and delay until that case becomes statute bad, because it will now become an academic exercise, considering that May 10 has come and gone. If that doesn't happen, then what you will get is that you will become trapped in the ADC, no longer able to go to any other political party, and then the Atiku will have their way, this way or that way. Heads or tail, Atiku gets the ticket, and then you lose out. I don't know, maybe they have promised you VP ticket. If you take VP ticket from Atiku, that's the end of your reputation and your character. Already a lot of persons are not comfortable that you went back to join the same structure of criminality that you condemned in 2023. But we trust your character. We know that you want an alliance of all opposition to rally behind you in 2027. And so we can forgive that. But you know what we will not forgive? If somehow Atiku gets ticket and decides to pick you as a vice presidential candidate, me, I will not support that. Others may, but I won't. And I will not spare you. I will not. Because we are seeing all the signs on the wall. And we are shouting and ringing all the alarms. But it appears as if you guys are not hearing. You're not listening. You're not paying attention. A novice politician will play this politics better than you guys are playing it. One thing that Tinubu cannot do in all the attempts that the APC can ever make to infiltrate a political party, one thing that APC and Tinubu cannot do is, if a political party does everything in obeying, in respecting the constitution of their party, no mole of Tinubu will be able to destabilize that party. You all are forgetting this. It is good to blame Tinubu and say, oh, the APC is planting moles. Yes, the APC can plant moles. But if the leadership of a political party does everything by the book, respects its constitution, follows the constitutional provisions of its constitution, if they do that, 1,000 moles from Tinubu or the APC will not be able to destabilize that party. It is because you provide him the cracks by breaking the constitution of your party. That's what allows moles to be able to come in and destabilize you. Let this lawsuit be a wake-up call for you, David Mark, and all of you in ADC. Call Nafiu Bala. Call Dumebi Kachiku. Call them. Call Leke Abejide. Call these people. With the right arrangement, even devil can see God. Call them. Settle this thing out of court while there is still time.